Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Yetnebersh Ngussie, and I am the Director for Advocacy and Rights in Light for the World. I'm very grateful for being invited to deliver a keynote speech at the Distinguished Meeting of Women with Disabilities in Austria. My special thanks goes to Miss Heidi Eger, who's a very good friend of mine and a lifetime inspiration of mine, who has invited me to deliver this keynote speech. I would have loved to join you in person and take all the inspirations you women are going to bring from all aspects of life. Unfortunately, I live far from you guys, and thanks to technology, I am able to deliver this message to you through my video message. As you know, women with disabilities are the majority in the disability movement. According to the World Disability Report 2011, the prevalence of disability among women is 19.2%, whereas it's only 12% among men. This figure indicates that there are more women with disabilities in the world when compared to men with disabilities. The same report also indicates that women with disabilities face more challenge than their counterparts of men with disabilities. Women with disabilities, however, are not seen taking leadership positions in either the disability movement or the feminism movement. For example, the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Committee, until 2 years ago, had only one member who is women from Germany. The rest, 17 members of the committee, were men. This is one significant example of how women with disabilities are less represented in opportunities that they are supposed to be represented. Due to a number of factors, including low level of education, low level of self-esteem and self-confidence, women with disabilities tend to be less participating in their socio-economic and political lives. Unfortunately, this reflects both nationally, regionally, and internationally. Women with disabilities are also not sufficiently represented in the mainstreamed human rights treaties. For the first time in history, a Spanish woman with a disability, Ana Pérez, has succeeded to join the Committee for the Convention of Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW. It was not an easy gain for Ana to join this committee. She was refused when she stood for campaign in the first time, and it was only for the second round that she won and succeeded to join the committee. Anna's joining the CEDAW committee has definitely brought in change by bringing the issues of women and girls with disabilities into the dialogue of CEDAW. This initiative needs to grow, and we have to make sure that women with disabilities are adequately represented and fully and effectively participating socio-economic and political lives. My organization, Light for the World, is very keen to make sure that the majority of the disability movement, which are women, are recognized and celebrated. In the work we do, we try to make sure that women with disabilities have equal share and equal opportunity. Not only this, we have launched a very interesting and for the first time in history, an award recognizing the abilities of women with disabilities named Her Abilities. I would like to offer my thanks again to all the jury members, including Heidi, who have joined to spotlight on the works of women with disabilities. Her Abilities Award, for the first time, has recognized 3 women with disabilities from Zambia, Bangladesh, and Malawi in 2019. We're eagerly waiting to see who will be the 3 women with disabilities to be celebrated in this year's call for award. Her Abilities is an award which is trying to spotlight the work of women with disabilities in 3 categories, namely human rights, education and health, art and sports, and culture. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, women with disabilities have a lot to play and have a lot to say. Unfortunately, the socio-cultural environment was not allowing them to do so. However, it's time for us now, given the Sustainable Development Goals, reflecting that leaving no one behind is the overarching principle, that women and girls with disabilities deserve to be in the front. They have been neglected in health, education, agriculture, economic, and quite a lot of social and economical aspects. It's time for us women with disabilities to really claim nothing about us without us. We need to remove barriers to make sure that all women with disabilities, regardless of where they are from and regardless of what they believe in, need to be recognized and represented. The prevalence of disability indicated in the World Disability Report is a magnificent document that we can claim that we are the majority within the disability movement. Beijing Plus 25 is coming in 2020. We need to make sure that the voices and concerns of women with disabilities are sufficiently included, recognized, and represented. Women with disabilities deserve to be in the leadership, not only in the beneficiary list of women's programs. Last but not least, I would like to call upon all women with disabilities in this room to make sure that we celebrate and recognize each other, to make sure that we network continuously, to ensure that the voices, concerns, and aspirations of women with disabilities are sufficiently represented everywhere they need to be. I believe education is the path to equality and inclusion. So I would call upon all women with disabilities in this room to fight for other women who were not lucky enough to go out of their home, and to join hands to end the less representation and less participation of women with disabilities everywhere in the world. Together, we can create an inclusive future for all women and girls with disabilities. I thank you and wish you all the best in your conference.